Hi, subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon for more videos. In the bustling corridors of a high school, two lives collided, lives shaped by families as different as night and day. This is the story of Agnes and Frank, a love forged in contrast, tested by time, and revived through growth. Agnes walking through the hallway, smiling and greeting everyone. She's vibrant, exuding warmth. Frank, meanwhile, sits quietly in the library, his face buried in a book. Agnes, to a friend. I've got the history project with Frank. I hope he's not too quiet. Cut to Agnes approaching Frank. Agnes. Hey, Frank. Ready to dive into some history? Frank, nervously. Yeah, let's get started. Montage of Agnes talking animatedly and Frank listening, slowly beginning to smile. What started as a simple school project became the foundation of an unexpected connection. Agnes's warmth melted Frank's walls, and a romance blossomed. Agnes and Frank sit by a lake, watching the sunset. Agnes. Frank, I love you. Frank shifts uncomfortably, avoiding eye contact. Frank. I care about you, too. Agnes looks hurt but forces a smile. Despite their love, Frank's emotional reserve became a barrier. For Agnes, love meant open expression. For Frank, it was something he struggled to articulate. Agnes is packing a suitcase. Frank stands in the doorway. Agnes. I can't keep waiting for you to open up, Frank. I need someone who isn't afraid to love me back. Frank, quietly. I'm sorry. Agnes walks away, tears streaming down her face. Frank watches, his expression unreadable. And so their paths diverged. Agnes sought love elsewhere, while Frank buried himself in his ambitions. Years later, Agnes works at a small cafe, tending to customers with her characteristic warmth. Frank enters, now a confident CEO. They lock eyes. Agnes, surprised. Frank? Frank, smiling faintly. It's been a long time, Agnes. The scene cuts to them, sitting at a table, awkward but curious. Frank, you look happy. Agnes, life has been challenging, but I've learned to find joy in the little things. How about you? Frank, hesitant, successful, but something's been missing. Montage of Agnes and Frank meeting over coffee, taking walks and revisiting old haunts. Their conversations grow deeper. Agnes, I always wondered why you couldn't say it back then. Frank, pausing. I was scared. Scared of being vulnerable, of not being enough. Through their renewed connection, Frank began confronting the emotional walls he had built long ago. Frank and Agnes sit under the stars, reminiscent of their high school days. Frank, softly. Agnes, I love you. I always have. I just didn't know how to show it. Agnes looks at him, tears in her eyes. Agnes, it took you long enough. They laugh and Frank reaches for her hand. Months later, Frank takes Agnes to the lake where she first confessed her love. Frank, Agnes, I've spent my life chasing success, but nothing compares to what I feel when I'm with you. Will you marry me? Agnes smiles, nodding as tears fall. Agnes, yes, Frank. 1,000 times, yes. They embrace as the screen fades to black. Agnes inspires Frank to show kindness and vulnerability at work, changing how he interacts with his team. Frank, in turn, encourages Agnes to pursue her dream of starting a children's art program. One evening, Agnes receives news that her parents' health has taken a turn for the worse. She's hesitant to tell Frank, fearing it will disrupt their happiness. Frank, Agnes, you've been quiet lately. Is something wrong? Agnes hesitates, then decides to trust him. Agnes, my parents, they need me now more than ever. I don't know if I can balance everything. Frank, gently, you don't have to do it alone. We're in this together. They travel to Agnes's hometown, where Frank's kindness and support earn the trust of her family. He bonds with Agnes's father over shared stories of resilience, and her mother's spirit brightens in his presence. The wedding takes place in the garden of Agnes's childhood home. The couple exchanges vows surrounded by loved ones. As they kiss, the scene shifts to their reception, filled with laughter, dancing, and heartfelt toasts. Agnes and Frank share a quiet moment under the stars, reflecting on their journey. Agnes. I never thought we'd find our way back here. Frank. Sometimes love needs time to grow, just like us. Agnes and Frank's story is a testament to the power of growth, vulnerability, and second chances. Sometimes love requires time to bloom, but when it does, it's worth every moment. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more heartwarming stories.